उतनी ही ज़रूरी है जितनी बड़ों की। इनफैक्ट बच्चों की इन्वॉल्वमेंट शायद ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है, क्योंकि एक अच्छा फाउंडेशन, एक अच्छा बेस बनाना बहुत ज़रूरी है। वो फाउंडेशन, वो बेस जिसके ऊपर हमारे देश का फ्यूचर डिपेंड करता है। और उसी यूथ को रिप्रेजेंट करने के लिए वी इनवाइट द कीनोट स्पीकर प्रणव। प्रणव, प्लीज गिव अ बिग हैंड। थैंक यू।
We have him. Do you want?
Stay in the center so people can and keep it close to the microphone.
Okay. Good evening to all. Good evening to all. I have a bit of a cold today, but I'll manage. My name is Pranav. I am here to talk to you about the great anti-corruption movement in India. It's a great pleasure to see so many people here today in support of a revolution that is happening thousands of miles across the globe. A movement to fight against corruption, which has sunk very deep roots in the world's largest democracy. Some people dub this movement a second freedom struggle. What is corruption, you may ask? Most of you know, but for those of you who don't, corruption is dishonest or fraudulent conduct by those in power, typically involving bribery. Corruption is like a ball of snow to me. Once you set it rolling, it just gets bigger and bigger, and it's very hard to stop. Corruption is authority plus monopoly minus transparency. Why are we having this struggle? Well, there are many reasons. The Indian government has been rocked by corruption ever since India got its independence. There have been many scandals from northern India to southern India. What do these scandals show? They show that in India there exists a pervasive culture of corruption. A recent survey shows that many billions of dollars have been lost to corruption in India. India is the third biggest Asian economy. This has caused a huge derailing in economic growth. All of you know the low-pow bill, the anti-corruption bill, which is trying to stop corruption. The low-pow bill, if passed, will solve many issues involving corruption. But for over 40 years, for a decade, it's not been passed. All the politicians who are very corrupt these days, they aren't letting the low-pow bill get passed because they know it will affect them. This is just sad. Here's a little facts for you. This may seem surprising, but over $910 trillion since India got its independence, not dollars, rupees, since India got its independence, have been lost through corruption. This is way too much. Here, I'll give you some examples. Just when India got its independence, a year after that, there was a Jeep scandal, a Jeep selling scandal in 1948. 80 lakhs were lost to corruption then. The Jeep companies were very corrupt. But the 80 lakhs is nothing compared to recently, you may all know of this. The Commonwealth Games scandal of 2010. 40,000 crores have been lost there. This is a huge amount of money. Anna Hazare. We all know who this man is. He's been fasting for 12 days just to get rid of corruption. He wants the low-pow bill to get passed, and he's sick of corruption and wants to put a stand to it. As you all know, he used to work in the Indian Army and has turned himself into a social activist. He hails from a village known as Ralegan Siddhi and in the western Indian state of Maharashtra. Ralegan Siddhi is now described as a model village by the World Bank after a series of conservation and development projects launched by Mr. Hazare himself over the past few decades. He has managed to motivate the villagers to build dams, build per location tanks, to conserve water, and to plant thousands of trees.
It's okay.
He has his own weapons to fight against corruption. He uses fasting to fight against corruption. As you all know, he initially fasted in April for 3 days, demanding stringent anti-corruption laws. When he didn't get the result he wanted, he didn't give up, did he? He went on fasting for 12 more days. Again he fasted, until finally many MPs expressed their support for changes to anti-corruption legislation. Imagine him doing this at 74 years old. We all have to be like him. Anne Hazara believed in youth power, and so do I. He has become a model for the youth of India. Even my Indian cousins have used social networking like Facebook to post their thoughts on anti-corruption. As Mr. Hazare has said, the real fight begins now. We have a big struggle ahead of us in drafting the new legislation. The youth power in this movement is a sign of hope. In my opinion, there are two things we can do. There's the top-down approach and the bottom-up approach. The top-down approach involves striking at the law, striking at the roots. We have to change the law so that all these corrupt individuals can't go on doing what they're doing. But the problem with this is, the law goes straight into the government. So we can't do this because the government will easily stop it, corrupt officials in the government. So instead, there's the bottom-up solution. The bottom-up way is an approach that uses everyday citizens like you and me. We all have to stand up and revolt. We have to non-violently speak up against corruption. We have to let the government know that we're there and we're sick of corruption. There are many ways we can do this. Number one, many people in poverty have no idea what corruption is doing to them. That way, government can easily take advantage of them. We have to teach them what corruption is and how to avoid it. We also have to get everyone to stand up against the government and let them know that we cannot take this corruption anymore and they have to stop. I can't do it. You can't do it. Even Anna Hazare can't do it. We all have to stand up to do it. While there have been many bloody revolts in the past, such as the French Revolution, or more recently the Egyptian Revolution, I believe that we should use Gandhi's ideals of peaceful yet forceful revolution. This deserves overwhelming support. In conclusion, I would like to say one more thing. A no uttered from the deepest conviction is better than a yes merely uttered to please, or worse, to avoid trouble. Mahatma Gandhi has said this. We should all follow in his footsteps and say no to corruption. I thank the Indo-American Foundation and Mr. Jagadish Sagar for letting me speak today. Jai Hind.